Hello viewers, I'm Narayan here. I'm an educator and teacher of photography and cinematography, and welcome to this virtual session on imaging and cinematography. We just started this journey to explore certain aspects on imaging, and this is titled as "Why Do We Image?" So I started with myself asking this question, why do I image? And I started exploring into certain aspects of my own photography, and we all end up taking pictures, but we enjoy the process, but we seldom inquire into the fact as to why do we take images and what these images mean to us. This is one of those journeys where I was trying to find answers to my own approach to photography and imaging. So in this process, I was looking at my Instagram profile and looking at my images and was trying to read or categorize, where my photographs, fall into. And I would like to share those thoughts, and I would like to take into my Insta page to show some of my pictures and then talk more about it. So I'm getting into a share screen mode now. So then, yeah, minimizing this. Let me just get to my Insta page. So here, over the last few days, I've been, taking pictures like this. And if you look at this, or this one, or this one, or even this one, so I was trying to find similar images, and I found that they broadly fall under the abstract or probably fine art photography, which got me into exploring, more about the form of photography that I kind of have embraced, and trying to take pictures, which of course gives me an immense sense of satisfaction. So in the process of trying to read up about abstract photography, I would like to share some of my findings over here. So on abstract photography, when I was looking into the Wikipedia, it just said abstract photography, sometimes called non-objective experimental or conceptual photography, is a means of depicting a visual image that does not have an immediate association with the world object and that has been created through use of photographic equipment, process of materials. An abstract photograph may isolate a fragment of a natural scene in order to remove its inherent context from the viewer. It may be purposefully staged to create an seemingly unreal appearance from real objects, or it may involve the use of color, light, shadows, texture, shape, or form to convey a feeling, sensation, or impression. The image may be produced using traditional photographic equipment like a camera, darkroom, or computer, or it may be created without using a camera by directly manipulating film, paper, or other photographic media, including digital presentations. Yeah, I think somewhere this definition seems to echo, certain aspects about my imaging, where we look into not the real form, but we look at forms of color and forms and textures and things like that, which becomes an integral aspect of not defining what the form is, but these values of color and light and texture seems to appeal to you in a certain way, in a certain structure, and that is what, in a sense, is what could be, one form of abstract photography. So moving ahead with that, I wanted to also probably give you a little more insight into abstract photography. Somebody is interested into abstract photography, how they could proceed with it. And this is Adorama. It's a very interesting website where you can buy equipments. And thanks for this little information on abstract photography. So it's a very interesting picture over here. And so getting into abstract photography is one of the best ways that any aspiring photographer can start out in photography. Compared to more popular photography niches like product, outdoor, and wedding photography, abstract photography goes against many photographic rules, gives you the freedom to take a photo of anything that grabs your attention and allows you to express your artistic nature. Formally speaking, abstract photography is a method of expressing ideas and emotions with photographed image elements without the intention of creating a traditional or realistic image. By avoiding and going beyond the usual representation of an object, scene, or any particular element, reveals details that are normally ignored and trigger the viewer's imagination. Some of the most acclaimed and expensive pieces of art include odd yet visually interesting photos of things that don't seem to tell a specific story, but still mystify and engage viewers on a deeper level. I think that's really true. So these are some examples of abstraction. Let me see if I can bring it down. Yeah. So some of the things about abstraction is simplicity, composition, angle of view, lighting, harmony, and mystery to be taken into consideration. So simplicity at first glance, the abstract photos may seem a little confusing and cluttered. However, once you understand what abstraction does, you'll realize that a lot of subtraction actually goes into the process. Yes, distracting and useless elements that don't trigger emotions and may confuse viewers eliminate from the image, especially since what is included in the image won't be easily recognizable, thus resulting in a cleaner abstract image that is visually lighter and easy to comprehend. While many commonly observed photography rules don't apply, a good abstract photo always has a clear structural design. A lot of thought goes into the order, placement, and balance between shapes, patterns, textures, and even colors within an abstract image. These factors greatly affect the visual weight of the photo, establish and complement the point of view and influence how viewers look at it. A well-composed photo uses these visual elements to achieve a common goal and output. Right. So I will anyway tag this article. You can go more into it. Harmony is again interesting aspect. Photographic elements in abstract images tend to be limited, but they usually work together by creating visual balance and proportion. When these strong colors in an image, for example, they're usually balanced out by other muted colors, so they don't fight for visual attention or confuse viewers. They coexist harmoniously by relating to each other and complementing the focal point, thus creating a cohesive abstract photo. I'll just maybe revisit some of the image that I've captured to echo some of the points that is being mentioned over here. Probably yes. Getting back to the context, this is one thing which I really liked what they said. Abstract images trigger emotional responses and imaginations by including an element of mystery and intrigue. This is how abstract art gives viewers a sense of wonder, which in turn engages and encourages them to appreciate even the most complex but inviting piece of art. Yes, this is something which I felt probably a bit of it is there in some of my images in terms of history and intrigue. We don't know exactly what it is actually. So, things like this, some other frames over here, or this, or even this. So, I mean, this was again, as I said, an attempt to find my form of photography and understand my own form of photography. So one of the ways, the way I'm leaning towards probably could be abstractions. And tips for beginners on abstraction is start with everyday objects. I mean, so very easy. Finding a subject for abstract photography is very, very simple. I mean, you never will run out of subjects. Anything in close vicinity can be a potential subject to be rendered an abstract image. Use of elements of design to your advantage. Go macro, means going close. Shoot through objects. Capture motion. Practice the art of subtraction. Eliminate things that you don't want to have. Customize your lighting. Experiment with different shooting styles. Post-process your images. Today, I think this is again a very important in enhancing the color or contrast or making it more darker. All those things are important in parts of post-processing images. So let me go on to one more beautiful article over here by Stephanie K. Coy, where he has given examples of abstract photography. So here you can see about intentional camera movement. I never knew about this. ICM. I knew camera movements were used while taking pictures, but it's an abbreviation for that as a special kind of approach. Intentional camera movements is something new over here. So camera tossing, he talks about camera tossing. Very interesting, the way kind of pictures are rendered with certain kind of camera movements. Squire, look at this picture over here. This I really loved actually, going berserk. I don't know what is the kind of movement that has been used, but really amazing effect that we have got over here. Blurry trees. One of the best subjects for ICM is trees. Look at this one. This is also really, really beautiful. Transcend. So sublime. This, I'll again tag this article. We can go through it the wonderful pictures that has been created over here. Bouquets. This is something very common which we cinematographers, often try to use in the background of a subject or sometimes even in the foreground. Bouquets are something very, very common and they can be very beautifully used to, with shallow depth of field to create a wonderful effect actually. Water again is a beautiful thing. We love to use water in many, many ways. Look at this one with the smoke. Right. With this, I would like to just close this session with a couple of small thoughts. One is I was reading a book by Eckhart Tolle, Stillness Speaks. And here he speaks about, certain aspects about silence. He says, look at a tree, a flower, a plant, let your awareness rest upon it. How still they are, how deeply rooted in being. Allow nature to teach you stillness, which is so true. When you're trying to capture nature, sometimes you're very quiet, you become really, really still. And that's what photography does to you. It brings stillness into your being sometimes. When you look at a tree and perceive its stillness, you become still yourself. You connect with it at a very deep level. You feel a oneness with whatever you perceive in and through stillness. Feeling that oneness of yourself with all things is true love. This is a maybe experienced statement from his end, but this is really hard. But I can, to this extent, an echo on this thought that you really feel stillness when you take the picture over here. So let me kind of exit from the screen share, and I hope you enjoyed the session. This was, as I said, again, an aspect of discovering oneself as a photographer. Where does one lean to, and trying to read more about it and try to kind of understand about yourself as a photographer. Thanks for being with us. Please do subscribe to our channel. There will be more sessions on imaging and photography and cinematography coming up soon. Thank you, viewers. Bye.